The next one is the ACES camera system replacement. So a lot of the cameras are 15 years old and approaching the end of life for the technology span. I have here, ACES is currently equipped with the cameras I have listed, so 18 interior, 11 exterior, and we're looking to bring over 7 cameras from MAMS to be installed. We're looking to not replace one of the district office camera because that is a brand new state-of-the-art camera. So this is looking to replace these that are listed here minus the district office. If there's any questions about the camera system.
So will we begin to have some problems with these?
They're aging out. The ability to pick up, we're supposed to have the ability to detect and then report events. Sometimes that doesn't work the way we want it to. You'll have an event and you're in the middle of the event. We'll just try to, I just think that's an age technology concern. So it's not ideal. But that's, the 15 years, we probably no support for the equipment. So the technology is surpassed.
They're functional. They're not doing what they could do on some of the systems because they're just old.
And are they to the point where you cannot service them?
I don't know that there's support for them. They probably have to be replaced with a new product. But the technology just isn't there anymore.
We usually replace as like if a camera would go down to get a brand new replacement. But these any technology, they have a very limited lifespan. So 15 years is actually quite a long time for the technology, especially.
You're not going to be auctioning these off.
No, I would be surprised if anybody would purchase these companies.
What types of features or do you know what you would replace them with?
Just more
Yes.
higher resolution, better technology as far as the ability to track and report events.
So that'd be something Dr. Naylor would work with whatever vendor he wants, like we find. So we work with several vendors, so we would research that, get a couple quotes, which ones have the best capabilities for the best price that work with our systems that we have in place. So we can't answer that because we don't know what products they have available that are in our price range. They could have a lot of features, they could have most features. We don't know that until we get through that product, but we're looking to replace them to the best of our ability within the price range that we have set.
The main thing is that we need something on the shelf that can be serviced.
Yeah.
And what we have now, that's not.
Doesn't seem.
So you're just
Right.
going to get bids from them?
We would reach out to companies and say, this is the price range, we're looking for this many cameras. What do you, because they also are like, because a lot of times aren't sole dealers, they have so many products that they can research and recommend. So we like working with those people. They can cast that wide net on our behalf, and then we can pick and choose which ones.
And we're going to offset with the cameras that are functional with ramps.
Correct. So we have several new ones that we would look to supplement it. So they would be in addition to, I believe, to these ones.
So you're going to do it.
I was going to just verify with John.
I'm sorry.
So I want to make sure I understood when we were discussing.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're going back to the district office carpet. I remember we talked about this last year. Like I said, it wasn't a priority for the capital projects last year. We've had additional, obviously, wear and tear this year. So I provide some pictures. You can see this is a rolled product. If you notice, in this boardroom is squares. We would look to go to a square product so we can replace them when they do this. So we have a lot of bubbling, some rips, a lot of stains. We've we've replaced some pieces. You can see kind of like where heavy foot traffic was, where it was before. We had some old pieces to replace it. Like I said, it's ripping here. We have some stains. So
Is that clear?
this is the teacher lounge I believe area, like their conference area.
And he
So there's I'd say Carrie walked with me. So there's stains all throughout, these were kind of like some of the easier ones to capture, but it doesn't always come great through the camera. I'm trying to take a picture. Like I said, you can see, so you can see that it's ripping and tearing. This is the original carpet, so this was put in '03. Everywhere else in the district, besides the district office, the teacher's lounge here in that what I saw room 219, and then the back part of the ACES front office. Everywhere else has the new squares. So that's 22, 23 years old.
So this is double the cost since last year?
No, if you remember last year, we were going to do it in phases. We were going to purchase the carpet, and then ideally it would have been installed at a later time. This is purchased and installed in one go.
So the 25,000 last year was just to purchase it.
Yes, correct. And then we had the labor costs that would be involved to move and yeah. And like I said, the paint is just self-explanatory. It's an opportunity to paint the district office. It doesn't have to be. It's just, like I said, it's an opportunity, the prime opportunity if the carpet's out to paint. There's nothing on the board.
We don't have to do this if we let you keep it on your list tonight. We don't have to do it later on.
So if it doesn't make the list, unless you give me opportunity to come back, it would wait until next year. Like I said, it's not gonna go away because the carpet's just old and tearing and ripping up. You can see you can start being trip hazards where some of the seams are. At some point, we're gonna have to replace it. It's up to the board to tell me when. Like it's gonna be on every, like at no point is the carpet gonna go away. Like you can't just leave it on forever. It's gonna have to be replaced at some point. So we can keep kicking the can 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. I'm just gonna keep bringing it back up until it gets replaced.
I don't know, what do you guys want to do? I mean, it's.
Well, I say no to the paint, what do we decide?
Okay.
I mean, did you show us how bad this paint is?
No, it's just original paint. So if we don't want to paint. It's just like I said, if we don't do it now, it's not a great. There's no other great opportunity to paint.
What'd you say?
Paint's a lot less expensive than the carpet.
The carpet's more needed than the paint.
Yes. So like I said, if we weren't doing the carpet, we wouldn't ask for the paint. It's just because it's everybody's gonna be out of their office. There's gonna be no carpet. What better time to paint? When you go to your own house, you move everything out. That's the time to paint. There's nothing else in there. Well, this doesn't count.
This is.
But
I mean, I can send you a lot of white
Here's the
walls
thing.
if you want for
I'm very
pictures.
serious when I say this. Before we ever, like at the end of the summer, beginning of September, the board used to do a walkthrough of all the buildings, and we would have all this stuff, we would see it before we had the capital projects thing. So, it's nice to have those tours every year to see how things are looking in the buildings.
Is there any reason why we could do that again?
Well, we should be doing it every year.
Maybe not the whole board, but maybe the committee.
Well, the full board usually ends up approving or not approving what we decide before, so, I mean, not everybody.
Yeah,
shows
last year
up.
we walked the athletic spaces. It just wasn't a direction to have walkthroughs. So I provided pictures.
What do you guys want to do?
Well, if you really think it's gonna be a tripping hazard, I mean, like, I'm not okay with it. I mean, I don't see the paint out.
But if we leave it on the capital projects list and approve the list this month, we still have to take further action to actually do the project, correct?
So we would work and find the company, either through bid or co-stars or whatever means, and then we would approve that contract. But you've already approved the list, so you're pre-approving, there would be.
But we're not approving when it's gonna happen.
No, it happened, most likely will happen in the summer when it's most convenient for district office and other places to be relocated. For them
But
to
I mean, it
acclimate.
goes to the full board for the final decision. Right?
Yeah, so the list will go to the full board, and then the cost is just a placeholder. The actual, you want to improve the actual cost with the actual contract. But right now, you're giving us authority that says we are going to have this project at some point. Now, the parent loop's a different thing. That's a whole different beast and design and
So in other words, it's not a 100% commitment tonight.
correct.
You still have time to consider options once you learn more about cost and
That's right.
who our vendors going to be and so on.
Right.
If that's what is making you a little nervous.
What other projects would you handle?
This is just the fire alarms, the last one. So this is an example. We've had to pull 2 of these. I remember I talked with Stephen about this. I found out more information. So they were setting off the fire alarm because they were faulty. And they had to be pulled, and they're no longer serviceable. They are 100% obsolete. This would be just a replacement of the heads throughout the building. So right now there's 2. At any point they could continue progressively failing. This one in particular is in Laura Mesa's office, so her office has no fire alarm currently in that picture.
So those are like the smoke detectors?
Yeah, and they trigger the fire alarm in the fire department to come. So if she would have a fire in her office, it would have to be progressed to the next location for it to set off. So this is just a head replacement, but throughout the whole transportation building. So that's where that cost comes from. 100%, they're 100% non-serviceable. The replacements, the company doesn't provide it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's a safety issue there. Yep.
So we can go back to the capital project list and look at it here, just so we can see the costs again. I don't think I had any concerns about the seal coating and painting the lines of the playground. Just looking for, I guess, a head nod that
Tom, dumb question from me. Are there certain colors that don't wear quite as fast with weather and the sun and so on? I've always heard different, when they were installing tracks and things like that.
That's a good question. I don't have the answer
Yeah,
to that. That'd be something.
Wasn't the foundation wanting to do stuff like that?
They did.
Say the original was done by the PTO. We reached out to them, they can't support this level of reseal coating and line painting at the moment. So the district wants to seal coat it, and we also have to get the lines painted. We want to seal coat it. It's up for seal coating.
Can we put that on the walkthrough list?
Yeah. We can put, I mean, they're all eligible to walk through and see.
Because you're not gonna reseal that until the summer.
Yeah, almost all the capital projects are summer jobs, but we have to then work with companies, and it takes several months to vet companies. So typically, we would have April or May before we see the contracts for the work to be executed post-graduate, like school letting out in the summer. So almost all the work's completed during the summer. If you notice, when we did the paving out here, we approved it last capital project list, but it wasn't done until the summer timeframe before school started, July. You guys approved it last October.
I'd say that those and then the ACES stuff, the district office stuff, just so that board members can see and everything, what they're voting on, would be a good thing to do the walkthrough, and then we can revisit it.
Okay.
Jim?
So is the full list less the parent loop proceeding to the next round and walk through in the meantime, like into next week's review? Just so I have clarification.
I think it's,
Oh,
I think
yes,
it's,
the big test.
I think it's I think it's all but I think that everything that we're walking through and the parent would stay off for approval this month. And then we will, after the walkthroughs.
So it's a Friday and No, I mean.
Well, if I'm understanding correctly, we're pulling everything until next month and then have their approval next month. Is that
The
is that
annual
I think the
repair,
fire alarm.
the fire alarm
Yeah, we have one more item left. Yep, is change orders. So we have 3 change orders that need approval. These change orders were to put speaker systems into the 3 music rooms at the high school. Band room, choral room, music room. They would get 3 of the exact same speaker systems. They were not included in the original project. Like I've been noted here, a lot of it's due to we've redesigned those spaces several times throughout the design phase, and unfortunately that didn't make it in the project of the speaker system. So this would look for board approval for all 3 of those spaces. So if you have more questions on your Dr. Berry, I have a little more information.
So I know
than
what
that.
Nick is gonna ask, and this is actually the scaled down version. So the first, information that they gave us for each of the rooms, we met with all 3 music teachers and asked, what on this list do you need, what don't you need? And I will say Adam, Mr. Bish, Mr. Lopal, and Ms. Matero did a great job of like, we don't need that, that's top of the line, we don't need that, we only need one of these. And they're very creative, and they're like, we can make it work with this, because we know how to, like, they're just very knowledgeable with technology. Like, they knew how they could wire things or rework things. So the biggest part of that 32 that you're seeing per room is actually installation. So when Lovar put it out to bid, they put it out to 3 different companies, and the prices that we got back for installation is what drove that cost up. The equipment itself is not that overly expensive, it's the installation of the equipment. But what we found when we went in is they were tearing out the ceilings and getting the new lighting in and stuff, is that the sound systems that they had in there were things that they had been piecemealing and bringing in from home, or band parents have donated. Like Adam had old stereo equipment speakers, like mounted to his walls, and he wired those and stuff. Like, they did not have sound equipment, and when the rooms were designed, they were not designed to include the sound equipment. And honestly, this wouldn't have been caught if Victor hadn't caught it when they were in there ripping everything out. We would have had 3 music rooms without sound capability.
Is there anything we can bring up from MAMS, or we don't have, so then what we did in MAMS, that was all new lighting, wasn't it?
I think that was all the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the high school got new lights like a year or so ago.
Last year, 2 years.
2 years ago, yeah. This is just like sounds, mics, Bluetooth capability, speaker systems. I know I'm missing something. But again, they really pared it down to like the bare basics of what they needed.
So the people that are bidding on the installation know that it's all at the same place, and that they can do it all at one time, and
Yep, they know that.
So this,
did you tell them that we have some, did you tell them we have some open signage at the stadium? They wanted to set
They
up
wanted
for
to.
sponsorship.
So this is just an informational, it's gonna come into the full board for approval, so it's just an informational to give the committee a heads up that they don't show up to the full board for them to ask as a change order. So it's just to make the committee aware that potentially just short of $100,000 for a speaker system.
And you need those in all 3 rooms.
All 3 rooms. I'm sorry, what?
No, the last thing is this timeline. Like I said, we would have capital projects here. I think we'll have some, and then we'll have some in November. The November timeframe would be when we allocate the funds and would do any capital reserve transfer, look at the AFR audit, have presentation from the auditors in the November timeframe. Sometimes that trickles into December based on timing. And then
So when we sold the buses and we got more money than you expected, that can't be used for the firearms since it's the transportation department?
So that would go into the general fund, and then we can make a transfer at year end for next year's general. So essentially, it'll pay for itself, but it wouldn't go until next year at this time. We look to allocate that 50%.
That was good news.
It's a good thing, good thing.
Yeah. So that's just something, so anything that comes through with the surplus or the audit, that's where the opportunity is. Okay, we can move that forward. It can either be a retroactive, since that helps pay for what we've already done, or that helps pay for the future, kind of which way we want to address the issue. So like, we know 2 years ago, we moved, what, 3.2 to address the grant projects.